Welcome to the Micheaux Mission, Two Men, One Podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Vincent Williams, and I'm joined as always by my partner.
Hey, what's up? Holla at your boy. This is Len, aka the Bat Tribble.
And on this stop, as we enter into the month of November, we got a doozy for you. We got a doozy for you. 1997's Jackie Brown. One of Quentin Tarantino's most acclaimed films.
Yeah.
Adapted from an Elmore Leonard novel starring, here we go.
Yeah, take a deep breath.
Bridget Fonda, Samuel L. Jackson, Robert Forster.
You're saying Bridget Fonda like you know Bridget Fonda. You know your blind spots. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, this actually, here's the thing. This is actually the only thing movie I actually know her from. Like, I know she's in other things, but I'm like, oh yeah, she was in Jackie Brown. Because, well, we'll talk about it. She does very well in Jackie Brown in a film filled with Titans.
Yes, and you were naming the Titans.
Robert De Niro, Samuel L. Jackson, and riding herd on Michael Keaton. And riding herd on all of them, the one and only Pam Grier.
Oh.
This was the choice of Lynn Webb, but before we get into Jackie Brown.
Watch what you say there.
Quentin Tarantino might be jealous.
Shout out to everyone who are watching and joining us live as we are streaming via StreamYard to YouTube, Facebook, as well as to Twitch. Hello.
Good evening, one and all. I didn't even mention Tiny Lister in Sid Haig.
Right. Well, I knew you were going to catch Sid Haig.
Oh, you know I was going to catch Sid Haig. I actually have a note. I said, hey, it's Sid Haig.
I know. But Tiny Lister in a small role and used, like, you want to ask, is he used properly?
Look.
He's basically the secretary.
Look. Quentin Tarantino has so many damn toys to play with in this film.
Tiny Lister is the world's strongest skip tracer.
Right. There was a call while you were out. But we'll get to all of that.
Yeah, we'll get on to all that. We will. Hey, it's the doorbell. That's what happens when you do it live, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
We'll be right back. Entertain the whole.
Entertain everyone. How is everyone doing this evening? It's a shame I actually can't see people writing in the text box because Lynn keeps the messages. No, not really. But the way the board works, I can't see the comments in real time on my screen the way Lynn does. But hopefully everyone is doing well. Everyone recovered from Halloween if you celebrated Halloween. If you don't celebrate Halloween, recovered from everyone around you celebrating Halloween. It was raining here in Philadelphia a little bit, but that did not deter the children. And so we took kids out and we saw kids, and big fan of Halloween. But now we are into November, which I'm realizing, besides the fact that my birthday is in November, I realized earlier this fall, my daughter has pointed out that while I've always said that I'm a fall person, I think I might be a late fall, maybe even early winter person. But that is neither here nor there.
No, it is not.
Because
hey, what's up, Anthony Howard, who's joining us in the chat and watching us on LinkedIn.
Oh, there you go. He's watching us very professionally.
That's what he does.
Yes.
That's what he does. You know, I don't mind saying this on this recorded podcast because a lot of this part will get edited out.
Okay.
I had to run to the door.
Right.
But Anthony Howard is one of the coolest guys I know. Like, there are three guys who every time I see them, I immediately, one, say, oh my God, that's a cool dude. And two, I'm jealous of what they're wearing.
Okay. And they are
Anthony Howard,
because
he's just fly.
Okay.
And he keeps like fly glasses and a fly hat.
Okay.
Comic book artist Eric Battle.
He's a cool dude
who on the low may be the actual Mac.
Yeah. Eric's a cool dude.
And you.
Oh, I don't know about me.
Well, you have like the world's, like, next to my friend Randy, you have the world's coolest t-shirt collection.
I may have a problem.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, you may have a problem.
You do.
But yes.
So anyway,
yes.
So shout out to everyone.
Shout out to everyone.
I'm back.
All right, Lynn. Lynn is back.
I forget where we were. Where were we?
We were just saying hi, good evening. We were having just kind of warming up. We hadn't gotten to any actual business yet.
We had not. But let's get into some business.
Yes, let's
get into listener mail.
Listener mail, missives from the missionaries. What's going on?
I gotta get
in missionary world.
I feel like I need to get music for the listener mail.
Your listener mail just have music for every little bit and thing on here. Will be like the Tonight Show circa 1981.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we could do that.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. We got an email from Ellis Heron.
Hey, what's up, Ellis?
First, he starts off with condolences to you, Vince, for
Thank
your loss.
You, Ellis.
You and your family are in our prayers. I gotta say, I'm with you on the Blade movies. This was in regards to our review of Blade Trinity.
Okay.
The first one is classic.
Yes.
The second did throw me off at first with the whole team up with your enemies angle, but they made it work just like X-Men 2 did.
Guillermo del Toro.
As for Blade Trinity, there was only one good thing that came out of that movie. Ryan Reynolds. While making the movie, someone on the set came up to him and said, "You're basically playing this guy," and handed over some Deadpool comic books.
Interesting.
Needless to say, Ryan fell in love with the character and made it his mission to bring him to the big screen. Now Ryan Reynolds is a big Hollywood player, calling shots at Marvel Studios and even persuading Hugh Jackman to come out of retirement to play Wolverine once again. So in the end, Blade Trinity served its purpose. Speaking of movies and a trilogy, what are your thoughts on the Creed 3 trailer? Your boy, Ellis Heron from Fort Worth.
All right. You know, I wanted to say last week about Ryan Reynolds. If Ryan Reynolds really wanted to get on my good side, like if he wanted to get on Vince's good side, in Deadpool 3, he'd have Blade show up and take over half the movie. And like be really pissed about it.
That would be kind of
right.
That'd be kind of fun.
But have you seen the Creed trailer?
I believe I did see it once.
And
okay. It didn't like ball me over or anything. I was not a fan of Creed 2.
Okay.
Not that Creed 2 is a bad movie, but it just didn't hit me like the first one.
Sure.
And I really honestly could do without Creed 3.
Sure, certainly.
But I watched the trailer and I was like, okay.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm sort of the same way. Creed 2, I think, didn't hit me like Creed, but Creed hit me pretty hard, mainly because there's absolutely no way it should have worked.
Right.
And then it worked really well.
Oh.
So then Creed 2, I was like, all right. I will say this. I like the fact that it seems like it's not a retread of a Rocky story.
They're going places.
They're going somewhere that has to actually do with Creed's life. They're not, like, it's not the son of Clubber Lang or, the son of the Don King character in Rocky V. So I like that. And look, man, Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors, the acting is going to be way better than it probably needs to be.
That's very true.
So, I'll watch it.
That's very true. There is Jonathan Majors the star of that movie Devotion that has to deal with the fighter pilot back in World War II, I believe? Have you seen that trailer?
I've seen the trailer. I don't even remember what the name of it was.
I'm pretty sure it's Devotion.
But maybe it is.
And that looks very interesting. I'm a sucker for a World War II.
Wow, did you thought it looked interesting?
Well, I mean, I'm a sucker for a good looking World War II like war movie.
Hey man, that's why there are two of us, because I forgot about it immediately up until this moment when you said something about it.
We also got a YouTube comment on our Blade Trinity review from RMJ Movie Reviews.
Hey, RMJ Movie Reviews.
And actually leaves comments on a few of our episodes. He says, in regards to Blade Trinity, I hated this movie from the second I first saw it. It's a lazy, convoluted, whitewashed attempt to sideline the Blade character to another franchise. This was a blatant slap in the face to Wesley Snipes to let him know you don't run ish, black man.
I can't disagree with him.
No, but I wish I could, but no.
Yeah.
We cannot disagree with him at all with his assessment of Blade Trinity. We also got another comment on one of our YouTube reviews from Julie Davis.
Hey, Julie,
stop me if you heard this one before. I may have read this one before, because this is one goes back a little bit. It's in regards to our review of Hung for Jesus, Save Your Soul. I appreciate Vincent's love of black women. It's great, but I didn't think that the Quita Kemmel thing was that big of a deal. The
Right. Because when
Quinta,
yes,
she means
yes,
Quinta.
When he did the joke
at the at the Emmys.
All right.
Also, didn't agree with his take, your take,
yes,
on the slap heard around the world, but I appreciate your point of view.
Okay.
So that's from Julie Davis.
All right. And I love that. I love the fact that Julie and I can disagree without being disagreeable.
Exactly. Nothing wrong with that at all. Did you see, Vincent, just a little bit of news, because people in our Facebook group share news left and right. So every once in a while I want to acknowledge that. And did you see some of the most recent news that Yahya Abdul-Mateen is, I believe, either in talks or has already signed on?
Yeah.
Play Wonder Man.
Yeah. From everything I've seen, it's a done deal
in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's actually going to be in a Disney Plus series.
Yes.
Probably of the same name. What do you think about the casting of Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Wonder Man?
I mean, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm happy. You know, at this point, I am. It's an embarrassment of riches with these characters, and who gets it. Like, if anything, I have to say I'm vaguely disappointed he didn't get a higher marquee character.
Yeah, but
you know, I think it'll be fun. It'll be nice.
It will be nice.
Yeah.
First of all, Wonder Man is a very, very obscure Marvel Cinematic Universe character.
Look, at this point, Marvel is flexing so much with their properties.
For those who don't recognize the name and may think, is that Wonder Woman's husband? No. Wonder Man is Simon Williams, who, just giving you the quick 30-second pitch on the character, is a I guess like C-list actor in Hollywood who, I forget exactly how he gets his powers.
Oh my God. It really doesn't matter. And
yeah, he's got super strength.
He's a Marvel guy. He's got super strength.
Yeah.
He was an actor. And
I think he was an actor in like a soap opera in the comic books, if I remember that correctly. Sure. I'm trying to think of the things that they're probably going to bring to the series.
Right.
I think
maybe the acting part. It looks, they'll probably go like the She-Hulk angle.
That's what I'm
thinking. Make it more of a comedy.
If not comic, definitely maybe a little bit more lighter.
Yeah.
Definitely use this as an opportunity to be a little bit even more satirical about Hollywood than She-Hulk was, because She-Hulk doesn't really get to that level of satire to the season finale. So I'm a fan of him as an actor.
Right.
I wonder whether or not he's going to be able to still juggle his character in the DC Cinematic Universe,
which I was going to say, I have to say,
because he's Black Manta,
right? And you saw movies. that the Trench movie they said was secretly a Black Manta movie, and the Trench movie got canceled,
right?
Which was going to be a spinoff of Aquaman, and I was like, because like I really would rather have seen that than
me too, because that would have given him an opportunity to like really play a lead of a complicated character.
Also, if we're nerding, and we can move on after this a little bit, because you and I didn't really get a chance to talk about this because I came in hot. If we're talking about Black characters playing one of these Marvel characters and what has really been on my mind this week, you saw William Jackson Harper, my beloved Chidi from The Good Place.
Yes.
Has been cast in an undisclosed role in Ant-Man 3.
Yes.
Which is the proper introduction of Kang the Conqueror.
Yes.
And it's already a little buzzy about who he could be playing, who he might be playing, who he could possibly be playing. And I know your little nerd heart and my little nerd heart, ever since they announced that Jonathan Majors was playing Kang, you probably said, well, that's interesting, because we know about Kang from the comic books.
Right.
And Kang is related to people in the comic books.
Yeah.
Like he's one character in particular is, I believe, grandfather. So I was like, well, if Kang is Black, are they trying to imply that someone else could be Black?
Yes, you're thinking that.
And when it was just sort of a, you kind of have it in your head and you don't think about it. And I really was not really thinking about it. And to be quite honest, I'm still not really thinking about it.
That's just one of those things to keep your eye on.
And William Jackson Harper is in that sweet spot of, like, he's famous enough. He could be like a marquee character, like one of the big characters in the Marvel universe. But he's not so famous that you don't see him signing up for like one of them crazy Marvel contracts, like them 10-year, 8-movie contracts.
Nah, I can see him signing up for that.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying
that you don't see him. Yeah.
Like, I hear people talking about Giancarlo Esposito and, he should play Magneto. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, that'd be nice, but I don't see him signing one of them 10-year, 8-movie contracts that Marvel needs.
Me neither.
Like Giancarlo, like he ain't really that dude. Denzel Washington should play this person. Like Denzel ain't really doing nothing like that. But William Jackson Harper could sign up.
He could sign up
and be Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, he could.
So I have to say, as much as I'm happy for Yahya Abdul-Mateen and Wonder Man, this William Jackson Harper thing has been really taken up. That's been taking up my nerd head.
You dropped the Mr. Fantastic without. You're going to do that.
Mr. Fantastic is, of course,
connect the dots for people.
Of the Fantastic Four, which is one of those key properties that just got folded back into Marvel over the past few years.
Right.
And they've been teasing it.
Yes.
I never know his name. Jim from The Office. John,
I know who you're talking about, but
right?
Like, no, he's not going to be it.
Right. The nerd casting was they wanted him to play it, and then he played a variant of the character in Doctor Strange.
Right.
But he made very clear, and everyone made very clear, this was basically a one-off.
Right.
So,
but wait a minute. What I meant by connect the dots is because you started talking about Kang.
Because Mr. Fantastic in the comic books, Reed Richards is in a lot of situations Kang's grandson.
Exactly.
So in a film that is introducing Kang, and then William Jackson Harper is floating around,
you wonder whether or not William Jackson Harper
might be playing,
who definitely has the image that would befit the character of Mr. Fantastic.
Absolutely. He's played nerdy, geeky, but somehow pulls it off.
Yes. Who are secretly on the low, cut and
right. As old girl said, is quietly jacked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but happy for one and all of these actors are my favorite kind of Black actors, working ones.
Who was it? I believe it was Farrell Blackwell. This is why I love our missionaries. In regards to our talk about Yahya Abdul-Mateen, Farrell Blackwell said, "Hey, damn, this means that there's no season 2 of Watchmen."
Yeah.
To which Deborah Battle, ever ready, said, "Farrell Blackwell, there was never going to be a season 2.
That's right.
Of Watchmen."
That's right.
And that is absolutely 100% true. Going back to the Facebook group, Robert Monroe Jr.
Hey, Robert.
Says that last night he saw Till.
Okay.
And believes that Danielle Detweiler definitely deserves a Best Actress Oscar nomination.
People have been saying good things.
People have been saying good things about Till. So I'm excited for the acclaim that it will gather.
Absolutely.
I hope that it gets the box office.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like this is another film where the production team is also Black. Mm-hmm. Like, I think a sister is the one who was in the position to greenlight it. And, I know the director, and her name slips my mind, unfortunately, right now. So as much as we love people in front of the camera, we also love people behind the camera and in the rooms making decisions. So,
yeah. Till, which tells the true story of Mamie Till Mobley's relentless pursuit of justice for her 14-year-old son, Emmett Till, who was, of course, lynched in 1955, was directed by Chinonye Chukwu.
Okay.
She directed the film. She is a Nigerian film director, and who is famous for the dramatic movie Clemency.
Okay.
Which was her biggest claim to fame before Till.
Okay. Excellent.
Which brings me really quick to a programming note, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, the Micheaux Mission will be coming to you as regularly, streaming on Tuesday, with our episode being available on that Wednesday. But as we have been bringing you as of late, bonus episodes of previously on the Micheaux Mission, next week it won't be a previously on the Micheaux Mission. It will be a totally no, it won't even be next week. Never mind. It'll be in 2 weeks.
I didn't want to say anything.
All of this will be edited out.
You're doing so well.
I know. I realized it. No, it's not going to be for 2 weeks.
I thought maybe you'd hit your head. You were just so excited.
I'm excited.
I know you're excited.
I'm excited.
It's exciting. We can't tell you what we're excited about, but it's
why can't we tell them?
Okay, or maybe I didn't know. I don't know.
We can tell them.
I don't know how any of this works.
We can tell them.
I don't know how any of this works.
No, we can't tell
It's
them.
like secret places and emails, and I don't know. I didn't want to say nothing. I wasn't trying to get in trouble.
We won't be in trouble.
We'll
be in trouble. We're going to see Black Panther. Vincent and I, we have been approved to get into an early screening of Black Panther. So we're going to go do that, and we're going to record the review next week, but it won't run until the week after,
right?
So that it won't spoil the movie.
Exactly.
And that's why I got
so we can stay on the list.
I got
Marvel's gonna keep making movies, so all right.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well. And Aaron Fry wants to know, are we going to do a special Wakanda Forever review?
We are.
Yes,
indeed.
we are.
We are indeed.
Yes, we are. So the week after the movie premieres,
yes,
you will have 2 brand new reviews from the Micheaux Mission.
There you go,
ladies and gentlemen. And one of them will be Wakanda Forever.
There you go.
All right.
Okay.
Time travel.
There you go.
It messes with you.
Amen.
Messes with my mental. Okay. You ready, Vince? It's time to move on.
Okay.
And it's time for the top 5.
Top 5. Who's your top 5? My top 5 is. My top 5 is. My top 5 is. My top 5 is. My top 5.
Top 5, ladies and gentlemen, where I come up with top 5 lists and Vince talks about them. This week's top 5, in commemoration of our feature film tonight, Jackie Brown. Tonight's top 5 is the top 5 full name movies.
Okay, very nice.
Now the African American edition.
So Forrest Gump will not appear.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No Forrest Gump.
No Tom Jones.
No Tom Jones. No Jerry Maguire.
No Jerry Maguire.
No. Okay. This will be Black Films.
Black Films.
Whose title is the full name.
The full name.
So no Ray.
No Ray.
No Harriet.
No Harriet, because it doesn't have a full name.
It has a full name.
Okay, well, I'm interested to see
No
how
Hancock.
you interpret the. There are a few films that I'm already thinking of that I'm wondering if they'll be on here. So let's go.
All right, we're gonna go now. We are going to go from the worst to the best.
For the worst to the best.
Okay, starting at number 5.
Number 5.
The worst.
The worst.
Full name.
Full name film. I bet I know what this is going to be. Let's see.
Oh, let's see.
No.
Let's see. Let's see.
Nope.
No, let's see.
Nope. Is
Let's
it Black
see.
Belt Jones?
No.
Okay.
No. I forgot all about Black Belt Jones. I knew this one's going to be missed.
Wasn't that weird? Because remember, it was weird because I think that was actually his government.
Was it really?
Remember, people call him BB and Black Belt? It was the strangest thing.
I have flushed almost all memory of that movie out of my head, except the stupid car wash fight.
How you forget all the scenes with Gloria Hendry?
Somehow I have.
Oof.
I've seen her in other places.
Oof, you really didn't like it then.
I've seen her in better places.
Oof.
No.
All right.
This movie is Alex Cross from 2012.
Speaking of these young actors getting gigs, you saw not Alan Elders Hodges.
Aldous
Hodges. Yeah, he just signed up for a revamp of Alex Cross.
Yes, thank God. I did see that. Thank the Lord.
Ooh, Tyler Perry looks so serious.
Because of anyone who sat through this dreck, I'm raising my hand.
Why did you watch Alex Cross starring Tyler Perry?
You do not remember those halcyon days when I was co-joined with a rabid Tyler Perry fan?
Hey, man, you didn't have to watch it.
Well, didn't I?
No. Like you've never lived in a one-room hovel.
Well,
like everywhere you've lived has had more than one room.
Okay, there's one thing about a one-room hovel. There's another thing about a movie theater.
Whew. Well, you a good man, Charlie Brown.
Yeah, well, what do you want? If I remember correctly, it was like multiple. It was like a few of us. Like I think it was like about 3 couples that went out. So look, I had to do it. I mean, I knew that this movie was bad because, you know, Tyler Perry went to his own wig department.
He's very serious
for this film.
That's a very serious wig.
Yeah, it's not a good film. It's just a shame because the character is a good character.
Absolutely.
Isn't it adapted from
thought like a series of novels?
I think by like James Patterson or something like that.
Didn't Morgan Freeman play Alex Cross in something?
In one of those older like Kiss the Spider movies or something like that. Yeah. And so they made their way to Tyler Perry. They quickly took an off ramp. And they locked down Hawkman. So,
okay. So Alex Cross was not. You need to move to the next because this picture of Tyler Perry is cracking me up. I am Tyler Perry, and I am very serious.
You know what the tagline for this movie is? No one better cross Alex Cross.
There's a cross-dressing joke in there somewhere, and if I had like 3 minutes,
let's get off.
Yes.
Number 4, Black Dynamite.
I was hoping Black Dynamite would show up because I think that's a
better use.
It's a spoof of Black Belt Jones
and many other blaxploitation films, and that Black Dynamite is his government.
Yes, it is.
Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite.
Yes.
And
it's a movie that holds up. Maybe because they had a little bit more time with it. I find myself really enjoying the animated series.
Oh my goodness.
Like I've rewatched it about 4 times.
I introduced my daughter to the Black Dynamite episode with Michael Jackson the other day. Like just showed her the one scene with cream corn telling Michael Jackson to hit it a little harder.
What's that, cream corn?
You know what? Teenagers are always too cool for school and disaffected.
Mm-hmm.
There's something beautiful about watching a 17-year-old's mouth open.
Wow.
Because she could not believe what she was seeing.
Wow. So she totally got it.
I said, yeah, this is good parenting right now.
That is cool.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
That is cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
That is dope. Yeah. So number 4, Black Dynamite. So you can see we rose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Black Dynamite is
quality.
fantastic.
It's a fantastic movie.
I'm trying to see what 3 movies are better than Black Dynamite.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 3, controversial. Putney Swope.
Putney Swope.
Now, Putney Swope is from 1969, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
And for people who are not really familiar with Putney Swope, it is I'd say satire is the right way to
Yeah, absolutely.
It is definitely a satirical comedy written and directed by Robert Downey Sr.
Yes.
And stars Arnold Johnson, a renowned character actor of the time, especially in the late 60s, early 70s, as the title character, a black advertising executive in this film that satirizes the advertising world, portrayal of race in Hollywood films, as well as corporate culture. And while it's a little uneven, it definitely is a film whose bite is very sharp, very intense, very felt. And some would say maybe even a step ahead of his time.
Well, it's so much ahead of its time. There's been a little conversation in the Facebook group and on our social media this week about the last episode of Atlanta, which was a faux documentary about the making of Goofy, the Goofy movie.
Oh, get out of here.
The blackest movie ever. And we, of course, reviewed the Goofy movie as a black movie. But a lot of Donald Glover's approach to critiquing Disney and critiquing blackness in movies and critiquing that culture very much is similar to Putney Swope.
Yeah.
And then people have talked about how you could tell he was influenced by the film. So yeah, very much ahead of its time.
Cool. All right. Would you put that above Black Dynamite?
Begrudgingly.
Okay. Gotcha.
Begrudgingly.
Fair enough.
So,
So I better bring it with you.
Look,
too.
Because now I'm trying to see what's better than Black Dynamite and Putney Swope.
Well, number 2.
Okay.
1954 is Carmen Jones.
It's not really fair pulling out Dorothy
Dandridge. Yeah. Tell me they beat Dorothy Dandridge, Vincent. Tell me they beat Dorothy Dandridge and your boy, my man, Harry Belafonte.
Look, this is already going to be a rocky show because we 44-year-old Pam Grier is a lot. So we ain't going to get on Dorothy Dandridge. But yes, I approve of Carmen Jones. So now we're going to see what's above Black
Carmen
Dynamite,
Jones,
Putney Swope, and Carmen Jones.
Because they all beat Alex Cross.
No one cross dresses
Vince.
Alex Cross.
Vince.
He will dress you down.
He will dress you up and he will dress you down.
And wig out.
Number one. Before you get in trouble. Antoine Fisher. Yes.
I don't know if Antoine Fisher's better in all these movies, but it's a good. I like Antoine Fisher. It's Antoine Fisher. He walked in at the end of the movie and they had made the big breakfast for him and it was pancakes. That was very touching.
I think Antoine Fisher maybe tops all these movies.
Antoine.
And the acting,
All
Derek
right.
Luke doing his thing.
all right.
Denzel Washington's directorial debut.
Yeah. It's real good. It's real good.
It's real good. I like Antoine Fisher. I like Antoine Fisher a lot. Let's see if our missionaries have or I'm sure they're throwing a ton of them in the chat that I missed. Sharon Eldridge is throwing up a vote for Roman J. Israel.
You know what? I didn't see that, but I heard really good things about it.
I tried to get through that movie. That's the Denzel Washington.
Oh, you didn't like
movie,
it,
right?
Yeah.
I tried to get through it. It's not that it's bad so much, but I felt that it was a little bit of a slog, and it was hard for me to get through. So like I can see what it's trying to do, but it just wasn't gripping me. Miss Makeba, Undercover Brother.
Was that his name?
See,
I guess that was his name, though.
See, I've not seen that film. So and like because early on in the mission, we were supposed to review it, and then things got knocked off of schedule. So we just haven't had the opportunity to return to it because it was actually a guest that was going to review it. So I'm trying to.
It's not bad.
I've heard like it's like one of those almost like cult things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see who else are people championing. Oh, they're mentioning that he played Alex Cross and Along Came a Spider. I knew it was like one of those,
which is a good movie.
One of those movies.
Yeah.
Sharon Eldridge is also throwing a vote for Truck Turner.
Truck Turner.
Now here's the thing though, unfortunately. With this like top 5 full name movies, I could have ran all through blaxploitation.
Right.
So to knock some of them, off, then I've got to go through like, okay, how is the film in quality as a movie? Truck Turner is a fun movie, but
better than Alex Cross. Why are you hesitating?
No. Here's the reason why I'm hesitating. Because while Alex Cross, and I admit it's not that great of a movie, it's not a good movie, right? But I will say that it is a better made movie than Truck Turner, and despite Tyler Perry's miscasting, it's a better acted movie than Truck Turner. So that's why I'm gonna
have to see it, but
because man, like you could take Truck Turner, you could take Friday Foster.
I mean,
you could take there's a ton of them.
I just want to stick with Truck. I mean, you've got Nichelle Nichols as Dorinda.
Don't get me wrong. I love it more than almost all of these movies I just named.
Which you already brought Dorothy Dandridge and Nichelle Nichols will just take us over the top. All right, so let's leave Nichelle Nichols out of it. But Yaphet Kotto is Harvard Blue, and
I know.
Come on, man. Truck Turner is.
I know.
I mean, I haven't seen Alex Cross, but I find it very difficult to believe that Alex Cross is better than Truck Turner.
It's a better made movie. Farrell Blackwell is saying, I don't care how many expository lines Denzel emotes. No way Antoine Fisher is better than Black Dynamite. Again, here's the thing. I love Black Dynamite, and maybe it's me having seen the movie more than a few times and only seeing Antoine Fisher about maybe twice or 3 times.
Oh my goodness.
But why
have you seen Antoine Fisher 3 times?
Like, I think like maybe I caught it on TNT or something like that. That's what I'm saying. I could be wrong.
Okay. All right.
I definitely only saw it once.
Right. In the movies. You went and saw it in the movies and you said, that was a fine, well-made film that I never need to see again.
Black Dynamite. All right, maybe there's an argument for Black Dynamite.
Come on, man.
There's an argument for Black
Dynamite.
I didn't want to say anything. I was going to say Black Dynamite. There is a moment in Black Dynamite where I do feel like it slows down a little bit.
Which part? What? There's no fat on Black Dynamite. What are you talking about?
Don't get me wrong.
When?
There's a moment where it goes into like some type of warehouse to kick ass for like the 12th time, and the movie.
You mean when they introduced Dr. Wu?
I don't think it's then.
That's the only time he's in a warehouse with Dr. Wu.
It is with Dr. Wu. It just I remember watching that the last time I watched the movie, and that kind of like feeling like a little slow to me. Maybe I was tired. In fairness,
there is
maybe
no
I
way
was
the introduction of the fiendish Dr. Wu.
You know, this brings to mind another movie.
Haha, I threw that before I walked in the room.
It brings to mind another movie that maybe belongs on. Well, no, it doesn't belong here. Pootie Tang, because that's his full name.
Here's the thing. Pootie Tang is controversial. Like, I never fight that hard with people over Pootie Tang. Because I love Pootie Tang. But, you know, I think people either love Pootie Tang or they hate Pootie Tang.
Mm-hmm.
No one is ambivalent about Pootie Tang.
Okay, here's a story I want to know. Miss Makiba says, I openly sobbed through Antoine Fisher in a Korean movie theater. Have not returned to it.
Do you mean Korea?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to know. The movie or the movie?
Korea.
Movie theater.
Because it's not Korea's fault that you were crying in the theater.
This is a fascinating woman, Miss
Look,
Makiba.
man. People have fascinating lives.
It's very fascinating.
But it was sad at the end when he walked in there and they had the breakfast laid out and then they had the close shot of the pancakes. I ain't like the fact that grits meant that it was going to be a bad morning, though.
Oh, my God.
I ain't like that.
Vincent, quick aside, that will definitely make the show.
Right. Because we usually keep things so linear.
I had a conversation with someone.
Okay.
Just the other day. And we got on the idea of her husband likes eggs with cheese.
Okay. Yeah. Cheese,
right?
eggs. Mm-hmm.
She
steak and Welch's great.
She
breakfast of champions
does not like eggs with cheese. And
okay.
she lives
Fair enough.
in Mississippi.
Okay.
She does not like cheese with eggs.
No cheese
eggs.
She
doesn't believe cheese belongs with eggs.
Okay, fair enough.
So, I immediately started questioning her black card.
Oh, I wouldn't do that because of that.
No, you wouldn't. But what you would question it for is her next statement.
Did she put sugar on her grits?
No. She puts sugar on her red beans and rice.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
That's dude. You the face you have right now is the face I had in the Zoom when I was on.
Is that some kind of family recipe or something?
No,
it's just her.
No, she tried to make it seem that it was something that they do in Mississippi.
Okay,
but her husband screamed from us.
You're not gonna put that on Mississippi.
That's just you. That's just her.
Mississippi got enough challenges without dealing with red beans and rice with sugar.
Have you ever heard of sugar on red beans and rice?
I've never ever heard of that.
Me neither. Farrell Blackwell, no.
Yeah, it seems like a good way to mess up some red beans and rice. But that's me.
I don't understand it. Now, I did say that I'm going to try it.
Why would you do that?
Well, I'm going to don't get me wrong, not in my whole thing.
Why would you even try it?
Because I'm interested.
What if she had said I smoke crack?
Well, that's different.
And you'd say, "Oh, I'll try some crack. I've never had crack." Why would you even try this?
What was the movie when
if Little Billy jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge too?
What was the movie when somebody actually was going to try crack because that was the character? It's what the character called for. It was The Wire. Remember Bubbles?
Oh yeah.
Remember he said like like maybe I need to try
a little crack
so I can be a character.
Try a little crack.
Little method acting. Somebody's like, you could just act.
You just pretend. You can pretend to smoke crack.
Director told him, you know what? You can act on this one.
You can act this one. Maybe talk to someone who smokes crack.
Talk to someone who puts sugar on red beans and rice. That will be the same thing.
And you've already done that.
Well,
so now you can leave this alone. And just eat red beans and rice.
Miss McKeepa says, I'm from Arkansas with family ties across the river and never heard of that.
Yeah. Look,
No.
I'm going to stick with I've never heard of it.
I'm sorry, but that is nothing that Southern people do. Take her card now. Camellia says,
look, it's a big country. I've never heard of that.
It ain't that big.
That doesn't sound like something I'd be interested in.
It ain't that big. The country is not that big. I'm going to tell her that y'all said that.
Okay.
She'll be very pleased to hear that. All right.
Let's
keep it moving.
Keeping it moving
to the Game of Kings.
Ah, yes.
That's the key. Like, you'd be surprised what a person can do with just a sense of touch and a sense of sound.
6 Degrees of Derville Martin, ladies and gentlemen, where Vincent will attempt to get to a movie actor of my selection in 6 movies or less, connecting them to 70s heartthrob, the real Black Belt Jones, Derville Martin.
Derville Martin.
Actor. Vincent, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right.
You want me to connect him to Pam Grier? You want me to just connect him to Pam Grier?
No.
Like do Pam Grier twice and then we just
no,
not Pam Grier. All right,
like I'm sorry. Do every show.
Like Pam Grier. Not every show, but I use Pam. Go ahead. Who we got?
Do you want to go south of the border to Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want to go over the pond to England?
Interesting. Let's start with Mexico.
Let's start with Mexico. In 6 movies or less, get from Derville Martin
to
Antonio Banderas.
Oh, Antonio Banderas. All right. Well, Derville Martin was in Sheba Baby with Pam Grier.
Ding, ding, ding.
Pam Grier was in tonight's feature film, Foxy Brown.
That's not what we're reviewing tonight.
No, not Foxy Brown, Jackie Brown. Oh, and I'm so busy trying to be cute.
Mm-hmm. Mix up your white guys.
No, I didn't mix up my white guys, but what I did do is mix up Antonio Banderas with George Clooney in Till Dusk Till Dawn. All right, so how am I going to get to Antonio Banderas? Let's see if I can have a little fun with Antonio Banderas, actually. Let's have a little fun with Antonio Banderas.
He's a fun guy.
All right, this is how we're going to do this. Derville Martin is in. How am I going to do this? Because I know where I'm going to end up. And I'm going to try my best not to use.
Yes, he is from Spain. Antonio Banderas is from Spain. He's not from Mexico.
Look at you.
That was my mistake.
Casual racism. Terrible.
It was not casual racism. I was actually thinking of a Mexican person earlier, and it didn't work out.
Derville Martin is in the Final Come Down with Billy D. Williams. Billy D. Williams is in The Empire Strikes Back with Carrie Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie Fisher is in When Harry Met Sally with Meg Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Meg Ryan is in, I believe the name of that film, is it When a Man Loves a Woman, where she's the alcoholic, and then when she's married to her husband, which is who she would be married to, and her husband is played by Antonio Banderas.
She's married to her husband, which is
It's the film where she's an alcoholic, and then when she goes into AA and gets better, she ends up divorcing him because she says that he was
When a Man Loves a Woman.
That's it.
It does star Melanie Griffith and Antonio Banderas.
Wait, Melanie Griffith or Meg Ryan?
Meg Ryan.
Yeah,
Meg
okay.
Ryan is in that movie, and Antonio Banderas is not.
Who plays her husband?
It's not Antonio Banderas.
It's not Antonio Banderas?
It's not. Your racism is showing.
Who is it?
It would be one Andy Garcia.
Okay, we're both terrible. Okay, in that case, let's go ahead and get off. We need to go ahead and get off of Antonio Banderas. So look, he's in
cute.
He's in 5 on the Black Hand Side with.
Stop trying to be cute. Get to the Antonio Banderas movie.
He's on 5 on the Black Hand Side with. I just forgot my man's name. My man's not because now I've got William Harper Jackson. Leonard Jackson. He's in 5 on the Black Hand Side with Leonard Jackson. Leonard Jackson is in Boomerang with Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is in Shrek. Let's say Shrek 2 with Antonio Banderas.
Very good.
Okay. I sure did mix up Andy Garcia with Antonio Banderas. Oh no, it's Ming Na all over again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do somebody British. Hopefully there's a white person, because if I mix up a white person, that's on brand.
Woo!
That is Andy Garcia.
Yes.
That's not Antonio Banderas at all.
No, it's not. It's not at all. You're so
I was. Because I knew you didn't think I knew anything about A Man Loves a Woman, but I really liked that movie. So much so that I mixed Andy Garcia up with Antonio Banderas.
This movie would have been better with Antonio Banderas.
Oh.
In my headcanon, it was Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas. Whenever I talk about it, I'm like, that is terrible how she got better than left Antonio Banderas. Good as he was to her when she was drunk. Have you ever seen him When a Man Loves a Woman?
I have not.
It's a good movie.
Okay.
It's a good where it's a fascinating kind of look into it. Into alcoholism, and so all right, but it doesn't have Antonio Banderas in it.
No, that's not.
All right, who else we got?
Okay, hopefully this is easier for you.
I was trying not to do Shrek, but you know,
I mean, there's a bunch of other movies.
Yeah. But I mean, but Shrek comes up immediately, you know, because of Eddie Murphy. It's like,
right.
Oh, I get to him real quick, Eddie. But go ahead. Are you not entertained? Go ahead.
In 6 movies or less, get from Derville Martin.
Derville Martin to
Tandaway Newton.
Oh, Tandaway Newton. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. I was just listening to this episode the other day too.
What, Beloved?
Yeah. So Derville Martin is in Derville Martin is in The Final Come Down with Billy D. Williams. So stick there. Billy D. Williams is in Bingo Long and his Traveling All-Stars and Roadshow with Richard Pryor, as opposed to he could also be in Lady Sings the Blues, whatever. I'm just getting Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor is in Which Way Is Up with Margaret Avery, who is, of course, in The Color Purple with both Oprah Winfrey and Danny Glover. And then you can take your pick. Both of them are in Beloved with Tanda We Knew.
Very good, Vincent.
Yes.
Very good. Well done.
Yes.
Well done. That's how it should be.
That's
played.
how it should be played, is just very mannerly and straightforward.
Yes. And no, this did not include a mention of Avatar. You did not have to pull the Avatar card.
Not have to pull the Avatar.
Are you looking forward to Avatar too?
Not really.
Me neither.
Not really.
I wasn't that great a fan of Avatar.
Say, here's the thing.
First
I was about to say, like, I saw Avatar. I don't remember anything about Avatar.
Yeah, and I didn't see it like just immediately, like everybody was running.
Just now, when he said, or was he going to pull Avatar? Was one of these people in Avatar?
Tandy knew. No, she was. No, that's Zoe
Saldana.
Yeah, that's Zoe Saldana, Pharaoh.
That's why I was confused. I was like, is Antonio Banderas in Avatar?
Zoe Saldana. Get it right. Your blind spot is black women. You don't see black women. Get them. Get them, girls. Get them, missionaries. Get them.
I just knew that
he don't see you.
I just knew that was Antonio Banderas in A Man Loves a Woman.
Pharaoh Blackwell don't see you. Okay. He like, my bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who's in Zorro with Antonio Banderas? Who's the female lead?
It's not Salma. It's Mike Douglas' wife. Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah. Yeah. That's who.
Because my brain fart was, because I mixed him up with George Clooney in Dusk Till Dawn.
With Salma
Hayek. And then I was like, yeah, I'm getting it all confused so I don't know how to go through Zorro.
How would you have gotten to Zorro? Well, I mean, with Catherine Zeta-Jones, you could have gotten into any of the Oscar movie, like the Ocean movies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Oceans 12 and 13.
Sure.
And she was in Chicago with Richard Gere
and Queen Latifah. That's right. And what's her name? Renee Zellweger. Yeah. It's a couple of ways.
Yeah, a couple of ways to get to
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
I like Catherine.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I like her. I actually thought it's really dated, but I thought you maybe try to get to Denzel and then get to Philadelphia.
He's in Philadelphia.
Yeah, he plays Tom Hanks' love interest.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
and then I don't know who else is in. I mean, you
who else is in what?
Probably get to Danny Trejo somehow to get to Spy Kids.
Yeah, he's probably like the biggest name, unless you want to count Ricardo Montalban.
Ricardo Montalban is in Spy Kids,
and I feel like Salma Hayek plays the mom. I feel like she plays the mom in that.
Then Ricardo Montalban, then I could just go through my Star Trek lane.
Yes. So you could have used Truck Turner.
I could have used it. Now we're back to Nichelle Nichols.
Back to Nichelle Nichols.
Now we're back to Nichelle Nichols and Truck Turner.
Okay. All right. It wasn't Salma Hayek. Thank you, Sharon. It was Carla Gugino.
Carla Gugino.
Yeah.
There's a name you don't hear that often.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you don't hear that often.
No, you don't.
What happened to her?
I mean, she's okay. She's okay.
I liked her.
I mean, I think she's okay,
stuff.
But I don't think she's like,
she
doesn't pop.
Right.
She doesn't pop.
I
think, unfortunately. All right. Ready to get into our review?
I am ready to get into this review. Yes, sir.
Jackie Brown. One other programming note, ladies and gentlemen. We were going to review from 1912, A Fool and His Money, which is it's a short film from 1912. It's only 10 minutes long, but it is historic because many consider it the first film with an all-black cast, as well as the first, or perhaps one of the first, films directed by a female director. Both of those points are so historic that we have decided to put off reviewing that film until another week so that Vincent will have an opportunity to check it out. Vincent wasn't able to check it out before tonight's telecast. So,
because of this long ass movie.
Because he kept rewinding certain parts of this movie. But we'll get into that in our review of Jackie Brown. But first, a little trailer talk. Talking about stuff that's going to be cut from the show. We're going to keep it short and sweet. And I'm going to go back into the Facebook group for a second because there was something that I saw here that was kind of interesting.
Okay.
Not that, because I want to talk about that next week.
Okay. Programming in real time.
Yeah, in real time. Oh, where was it? Where was that note that I saw? Yes, Lupita Nyong'o is in talks, and I think she actually has been cast.
Yes,
to be in A Quiet Place Day One.
Yes.
Have you seen the movies The Quiet Place?
I still have not seen The Quiet Place.
I know how you are about horror films.
No. But I think this would fit into my sweet spot. And since it is trailer talk, and I didn't want to get pulled too much into this, we geeked out more than I had planned on. My personal theory is that John Krasinski,
yes.
John Krasinski was going to play Mr. Fantastic. And in between when the talk started and then they fell apart, the Quiet Place stuff happened. And now he's too big. I think he's too big now.
I don't think it's necessarily too big. I think John Krasinski was always like the fan's choice to play Mr. Fantastic. But that was back in his real heyday of The Office. I think he actually is aged out of the role.
How is he? I think Mr. Fantastic is always a little older.
Yeah, but I don't think they want Mr. Fantastic to be a little older, because you gotta remember, a lot of these movies, they're casting with the idea that these people are going to at least do at least 2 films, hopefully over the course of about 5-6 years.
Sure.
And then maybe still showing up in, small cameos in multiple movies. And probably TV series leading up to that. So if you're already like right at your age point, you might move a little past it, especially if you want to cast Sue Richards and Johnny Storm probably a little bit younger,
definitely younger
as well.
Yeah.
So I think he probably is aged out of it a little bit.
Well, I've not seen A Quiet Place, but it's very much on my list of things that I want to see. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
I'm telling you this right now, Vincent. You will love A Quiet Place.
Okay.
I like both of them. But the first one, you will absolutely love that movie because you are a fan of the Twilight Zone.
It's true, I am.
And it is a Twilight Zone movie.
Okay. All right.
You will love it. You will love it. It was
well, I'm happy for Lupita Nyong'o.
Me too.
I mean,
I'm
just generally news today. Lupita Nyong'o enjoyed a salad at Honeygrow.
I'm happy for Lupita.
I am so happy. I hope she got the blackened chicken thighs and I hope her salad was just right. I hope they let them make the salad. They ain't let the stir fry person make the salad.
Me too.
Right. So, we just want good things for Lupita.
I can't eat a salad without croutons.
I mean, that's fair.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you got to have a little crunch.
Sometimes my girlfriend looks at me funny.
Right. I like sunflower seeds.
Sunflower seeds?
Yeah. If you go to like here in Philly, we have a sweet green. I don't know if they have sweet green across the nation, but
I
it's
believe it's
one of them salad people. Yeah. So you get the sunflower, because you're right. You gotta have a crunch.
Yeah. I wouldn't go sunflower seeds, but I
they
hear
work. You should try them.
No, I won't.
You should try that. You'll try red beans and rice with sugar on them. Now you Mr. I don't try things.
Because like I don't like the concept of sunflower seeds. Now I know putting them on your salad, they're already
right.
Yeah,
they're shucked. Yeah, they're not in the. Yeah.
But when I see that, I think of them in the shell. And I never like when I was growing up, I never got to the little seed inside. All I would do was pop the shell in my mouth, suck off the salt, and spit it out.
Spit it out.
Because when I get to that little thing, that little tiny thing, it has zero flavor.
Right.
So what am I working for?
Well, these sunflower seeds are seasoned and they're there for the consistency and the crunch.
They're seasoned?
Yeah.
You can season a sunflower seed?
You can season anything.
I suppose.
You season it. It's right there in the name, actually.
But then why put the salt on the shell if the salt doesn't permeate?
I'm not defending that. Like all that spitting and like I've never liked sunflower seeds like that. And in the bag and you do them in your hand like they're dice and throw them in your mouth. And it's like
I never got that.
And
too.
then
What
like
are you
people,
doing?
then like people spit it out and they always a little piece of shell that they don't get out. So then it's all that action and
it's in your teeth.
It's like what is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but no, I like them in a salad. Like you said, they've been de-shelled or shucked. You ready to talk about Jackie Brown?
Farrell Blackwell says, my Puerto Rican sister-in-law just heard the red beans and rice with sugar comment and instantly responded, ew.
I think that's the proper response.
That is the proper response. And Robert Monroe Jr. says the characters in A Quiet Place made some dumb mistakes that took me out of the movie. I don't think so.
Oh no, I gotta go watch it.
You really gotta watch it. Okay. You know there's a Twilight Zone channel on Pluto TV?
I did not. Are you ready to talk about Jackie Brown?
Somebody rushing.
Jackie Brown, a 1997 American crime film written and directed by Quentin Tarantino and based on Elmore Leonard's 1992 novel Rum Punch, stars Pam Grier as the title character, Jackie Brown, a flight attendant who is caught smuggling money. Samuel L. Jackson, Robert Forster, Bridget Fonda, Michael Keaton, Robert De Niro all appear in supporting roles. The first film in November here on the Micheaux Mission, was the choice of Lynn Webb. Lynn, what would you like to say about Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown?
Oh, what wouldn't I want to say about Jackie Brown? This is the only film that Quentin Tarantino has produced, directed, that is an adaptation of someone else's work.
Yes.
And as you mentioned, it is an adaptation of the noted and rightfully celebrated and acclaimed crime fiction writer Elmore Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
And if Quentin Tarantino, who for the most part is a filmmaker who I enjoy, and I enjoy him from a directing standpoint, and I enjoy his words, his scripts.
Mm-hmm.
For him to choose one work to adapt into a movie, he chose very, very well. and very smart. Pretty much the story of Rum Punch, the novel, is what you see on the screen, except for one huge explicit difference in that the lead character is changed from a white woman to a black woman, so that Quentin Tarantino, who is renowned as a not only a devotee of everything movies, but a huge fan of 70s black films and action films in general, to be fair, because he loves a good kung fu film. An actress who is near and dear to his heart, as she is to almost everyone, is Pam Grier.
Yeah.
Who is the icon of the 70s. You think 70s movies, when you think of a woman, you think of Pam Grier. So Quentin Tarantino, in looking at this story, saw that this was a perfect vehicle in which to pluck Pam Grier, who at this point in 1997 is a 70s icon, and that really is her claim to fame.
Absolutely.
She's not really doing much at this time. Maybe some small roles here and there in some films and on television, but she's really not doing anything. But Quentin Tarantino jumpstarts the hell out of her career by putting her as the lead character in Jackie Brown. Because for the first time ever, Pam Grier, who up to this point in all of her work has shown that she has the charisma to demand attention when she is on the screen. We all are well aware of her physical prowess, right? But she's never been given the opportunity to truly flex as an actor. She's had some films have, been made to try and give her that opportunity, and I'm looking at you, Friday Foster, but for one reason or another, things just didn't gel together enough to really give her a moment to shine. Here, under the watchful and attentive guise of a skilled director, and a director who is not only skilled in framing his camera, he is also a director who is skilled in working with his actors in developing a character, as well as putting the right words in their mouth that feel authentic. Pam Grier is finally in a place where she can really just be her full actualized self for the first time on screen. And in this first viewing of Pam Grier, she is more alive, more electric, and dare I say, more beautiful than she has been in anything else in her entire career.
Yeah.
She absolutely glows in this movie right from the very beginning. When you see her on the walkway at the airport, and it's playing the iconic 70s song Across 110th Street, and Pam Grier is just moving all in one spot. And I told you what I would tell you what that that scene is an homage to. It is an homage to the opening of The Graduate. The Graduate opens similarly, but this is Pam Grier. This is something totally different. Yeah, this is something totally new. Pam Grier is standing there full of confidence, full of pride, full of sass, full of sexiness, and she ain't doing nothing but just standing on a walkway.
Look,
and so powerful is the imagery of her over those opening credits. that is all you need to set you up for that character, because she is gone from the movie for maybe the next 20-25 minutes.
Yeah.
Because at that point, we are introduced to the co-star in this movie. One Samuel L. Jackson as Ordell Robbie.
Wow.
There is a name, and when you see him with his flowing locks, and I don't mean locks,
I was about to say
flowing hair,
it's
his
kinda
flowing mane,
permed, and
and his cornrolled
piece of hair.
piece of
It's like a
goatee.
rat tail,
It's like a rat tail,
but it's on his chin.
On his chin.
Yeah.
You will never see Samuel Jackson the same again. Whether or not he's rocking his Kangos to the back with his ponytail, whether or not he's flowing a la Mufasa. This is a Samuel Jackson that is like you've never seen. But it really is like you've never seen, because for the most part in this movie, Samuel L. Jackson, Ordell Robbie, who we are used to seeing in movies being very loud and big on screen.
Mm-hmm.
He's a lot more subdued in this movie. He's a lot more even keel in this movie. A lot, and dare I say, therefore, a bit more sinister in this movie. He definitely gets his prowl on screen, getting his shoulders moving as he is just moving and owning the screen, which is cool, because this is probably the first time that Pam Grier has really been up against someone of that prowess.
There it is
on screen.
There it is.
Right? We talked about, especially in Friday Foster, trying to put her in the midst of other actors so that, see how she can bounce off of them. But the direction, the script doesn't really come together. In this movie, under Quentin Tarantino's tutelage, with Samuel L. Jackson in full Panther mode, with Michael Keaton at his most Michael Keaton-esque.
Yeah.
He is like, this is the Michael Keaton id on screen.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton doing fantastic things. Robert
and a bit of a you come back for him at this moment in his career.
Yeah, most definitely.
He reminds you he's Michael Keaton.
Right.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro, already an iconic star, in a smaller role, but like Robert De Niro will do, still owning that role, making it his.
Yeah.
His character is a little bit of a schlup mumble of a character until the end. Until
he isn't.
Yeah, until he remembers, I'm Robert De Niro.
Right.
Because there's a Robert De Niro movie waiting for you. But all of these actors are bumping up against Pam Grier, and she is right there with each and every one of them.
Yeah.
Giving as good as she gets. And as much as she pops with Samuel L. Jackson, there's a moment in the dark when the two of them the screen is almost totally dark except for the light coming from outside of a window, and those two are in the room, and it's I don't know about you. I'm thinking one type of energy, but then the movie like subverts that and gives you a totally different type of energy between them, because they're a little bit antagonists against one another. But it still totally works. But I was still like, I am like totally locked into this scene. As much as she is doing that, as much as she is letting Michael Keaton be Michael Keaton in those scenes with him, and she's just being the sounding board for him to bounce off of, and she's doing it beautifully. There is no better connection than when two actors are both plucked from the lowest points of their career and given a true opportunity to shine once again. And that happens with Pam Grier, and it also happens with noted character actor at this time, Robert Forster, right, as Max Cherry, the bail bondsman. and the two of them on screen is electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie. It is just pop. It is just so beautiful, so fun, right? It is so
and
much
naturalistic.
Fun. It is naturalistic.
Like you completely believe all of this,
right? But the other thing that I like about the Max Cherry character is Max Cherry, in his connection to Pam Grier's Jackie Brown, he is Quentin Tarantino. He is Vincent Williams. He is Len Webb. He is every man who has ever just come upon Pam Grier and been totally smitten by just the aura of this woman. There's a moment in this film where he is sitting with Jackie Brown and they're at a bar. And they're sharing a drink, and he tells her that he's thinking about getting out of the bail bondsman profession. And she says, "Why?" She's like, "Yeah, I think it's time." She says words to the effect, "Well, what makes you say that?" And then it cuts back to the scene where he first sees her.
Yeah.
Because it was when he saw her walking out of the dark as he came to bail her out that something flicked in his brain. And that is the same flicker that has happened in every man's brain since the 70s, since the premiere of Jackie Brown. And this is our first time really seeing the full Jackie Brown. And you just appreciate her that much more, right? And what makes this movie even more of a celebration of this is because what you always thought of Pam Grier and Coffee and Foxy Brown and Friday Foster and every one of her films is absolutely true in this movie. Pam Grier / Jackie Brown is the smartest person in the room at all times. At all times in this film. She is 2 steps ahead of every single person. And I love it. And I love that the film never has a moment where the intelligence that she has displayed throughout this film, the guile, the swiftness, the wit, the charm, is never let go. It's never a lie. It's always front and center, full and truth. And that's why this is not only, and of course it goes without saying, Pam Grier's best film. In the completion of this movie, in the fullness of this movie, because you don't need a Jackie Brown 2. You don't need a prequel. And if you notice, there's not a whole lot of, crazy time jumping back and forths, which Quentin Tarantino is famous for doing in a lot of his films.
Sure.
There's not a lot of that. And the only time that it happens is only to reveal the plot of the heist as it is played out. It is still playing very smart with the audience. It still feels full. It still feels like a meaty subject. You mentioned that it's a long film. It's a little long, but by the time I was feeling that, I was just amped up for the end. And that's why Jackie Brown, to me, is Quentin Tarantino's best movie.
I don't think you can actually argue that. I think this is a film that when I think about directors and these successful directors that have these long careers, there's always a moment in their careers where it's a sweet spot.
And it all comes together.
Where they are confident and accomplished enough and in control of their faculties that they can do all these wonderful things. They have enough clout that they can pull in the type of talent and the type of the type of budget
Mhm.
that they need to fulfill their vision. I think Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing is that. And then after that moment, you can argue, you know, they still may make great films, but you know, then you start moving into excess and they're so big that they're not really edited the way,
Mhm.
like there aren't really those
There's
checks
no
and balances at
yes,
all.
Yes.
Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. I think Chris Nolan in Memento. I think quite honestly, I think Tim Burton's Batman, like this moment with Batman.
Okay.
And this is Quentin Tarantino's moment. This is his moment where he is confident, he is thoughtful, he is fully in control of his considerable talents. Not for nothing, I think it really, really helps that he has this framework of Elmore Leonard's novel, because let's just be clear, his bread and butter up until this point is he's making riffs of this kind of crime fiction. You know, it's like Elmore Leonard or Donald Westlake and these kind of low rent criminals that have heist and so forth. So you know, you go to the source. It is wonderfully directed. I think the script absolutely crackles.
Yeah.
I think this is his best script.
Elmore Leonard said it's the best adaptation of his work that he's ever read.
Like you, I'm a fan of Quentin Tarantino. I think Pulp Fiction is overrated, but I think it's a great script. I think Quentin Tarantino is actually a better writer than anything else in his toolbox. This script is amazing, and you can tell the joy that Quentin Tarantino has just in writing the script. The music cues are perfect, and as you said, the cast, again, this is a cast that is remarkable. And much like you, I do think this could have been a 2-hour movie. But my God, when you've got when you're getting such good work from everyone in so many scenes, like I joked about Bridget Fonda. This is the only thing I remember Bridget Fonda from. And I know she's had a career and she's done work. Bridget Fonda and Robert De Niro are amazing together. Robert Forster, as you said, is amazing with Pam Grier, but also just by himself.
Yeah.
As this character actor with this interiority that you know is there. That Samuel L. Jackson. The wonderful thing about this character, Ordell, he is so dangerous.
Yep.
He is so dangerous. But you need someone of this caliber to go up against, as you said, this character, Jackie Brown. Pam Grier could not have played this character at 30.
No, you're right.
Like, this is a character of that moment. And whether Quentin Tarantino meant to change the whole energy or not, by turning this into a 44-year-old Black woman, 44 sounds old in Hollywood old, but it's not that old.
Right.
But it is old enough to know some things.
Oh, yeah.
And old enough to have some experience, and old enough to be able to navigate these deadly waters. I love the fact that at no moment is this character, Jackie Brown, an innocent.
Nope.
She actually was committing crime. When the film started.
And owns it.
And is going to commit a crime to get out of it. Michael Keaton is fantastic. You know, I mentioned Michael Keaton. You know, I wouldn't necessarily call this a comeback, but Michael Keaton had been laying a little dormant. By 97.
Yeah.
And he's fantastic. And it's a case where every combination of player worked really, really well. So Michael Keaton and Pam Grier. Pam Grier and Robert Forster. Robert Forster and Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson and Bridget Fonda. Robert De Niro and Samuel Jackson.
Yeah,
you know, just every combination. And in a lot of ways, the other real sweet spot for Quentin Tarantino, everybody knows the legend of Quentin Tarantino. He was a video store guy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were a video store guy, and if you remember video store culture from the 80s and 90s, it was the grindhouse tradition. Everybody loved blaxploitation films. Everybody loved kung fu films. Everybody loved these sort of films that you went and you rented, and then you got some beer and some wings, and the independent video store you went, and on Friday night, the dude who was Quentin Tarantino was sitting in there, and Fist of Fury was playing on the TV in there,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in there eating Cheetos, and you were joking about it.
Not Cheetos.
And the thing about Jackie Brown is that while this is a well-made, well-acted, quality film,
Mm-hmm.
but that love and that energy that comes from the grindhouse tradition that this is an homage to is very much present. In a lot of ways, I think about this with something like Ang Lee's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon,
Oh, okay.
which is the same thing where, it was this love letter to the wire fu
Mm-hmm.
films of the 70s and 80s, but just made by a master director.
Mm-hmm.
The storyline is clear, again, back to the Elmore Leonard framework
Mm-hmm.
of this. Like, I'd actually forgotten just how linear this plot is.
Right.
There are no real twists and turns. There are no no real complications. It's just a group of people trying to get to this goal, and this woman in the middle of it, who is, as you said, master of everything that she surveys.
Mm-hmm.
And it is absolutely the best thing that Pam Grier has done. It is, everybody knows I'm a Django man. Like, Django Unchained is my favorite Quentin Tarantino film, but this is absolutely, I think, his best film.
Mm.
So yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
It's amazing. And I think you forget how good it is.
you do, because, like I said, Jackie Brown, she's gone from the movie for after the intro for the first 25 minutes. And you don't really miss her.
No,
Because you kind of are introduced and get wrapped into the introduction to Ordell by way of blink and you miss him, Chris Tucker.
poor, dumb, stupid Beaumont.
You want me to climb in that dirty ass trunk?
Oh, Beaumont.
I mean, who didn't see this coming?
Beaumont. Beaumont didn't see it coming. You know who did see it coming? Jackie.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. She was like, no, that's not happening. That's not happening. Oh my God, this movie is so good. I'm just thinking about when Ordell goes to see Jackie after she has been bailed out from being caught with the money that she is smuggling in as well.
And also the little extra cocaine that was thrown in there.
The little cocaine.
Yeah.
Ordell gets her bailed out, but fearful that she may have dropped dime on him, he shows up at her home, and he's talking to her. And while he's talking to her, and she says, like, "Can you go get me something to drink?" She goes into the kitchen, and he just slowly moves that one finger to turn off the light in the living room.
Mm.
I was like, "Oh my God. Oh no, don't do it." And like, and in my mind, because Jackie turns and looks at him, you don't think that it registers to her that he's turned off the light in the living room.
Right.
So she goes into the living room, turns back on the light, is talking to him from across the living room, and then he comes and talking to her, turns off the light in the living room again. Now, you're led to believe that there possibly is some type of sexual relationship between the two of them. And perhaps there is, because Jackie doesn't seem to be, mind that he has turned off the light. But then you realize it's because she's got a 38.
That's right.
Pointed at his Johnson.
That's right. That's right.
So you might want to go sit down while I turn on this light and tell you how things are going to be.
Look, man. And then she channels that 70s energy. Like, I love the moments when she channels it, where she turns into coffee.
Mm-hmm.
She is Sheba Baby.
Yeah.
But a little older and a little smarter. But you still get moments of vulnerability. We were talking before the end when everything settles. And you see her driving away and she starts to triumphantly sing across 110th Street, because now she's kind of taken ownership of it. But it's again, it's kudos to Quentin Tarantino, where the camera just stays on her and you can see the effect that all of this has had on her. Like, she finally gets this moment to feel a little bit, which, if you remember, this is part of the reason Coffee has always been my favorite Pam Grier movie, because she's, it's that wonderful scene at the end where she's walking on the beach by herself.
Yeah.
And just so,
and this movie borrows a lot of music cues from Coffee.
Yeah. Oh,
Actual music cues from Coffee. It's also cool in that scene because Jackie is feeling herself in that scene, but that Pam Grier is feeling herself in that scene as well.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because if Pam Grier, who would after this go on to enjoy a bit of a renaissance in her career, she was on, she shows up more in film and on television.
Yeah.
So and so much so, this film is such a capper, even still, with the continuing work that she did afterwards and still does. But this film is such a capper for everything that she is and represents, that the work that she's done afterwards, and I'm sure she finds a lot of it fulfilling in one way or another.
Sure.
She's free to just be an actress.
Right.
To just take on roles because they just sound fun, or she wants to be, do something with somebody or something like that. It doesn't have to be, defining of her career, because she's had her defining moment in her career, right then, at a moment in her career that a lot of actresses don't get.
No,
especially a lot of actresses who had fame leave them for a bit.
Yeah.
Fame doesn't come back to that level for a lot of Black actresses.
Well, I think the great thing about Jackie Brown is that when you think about Pam Grier in the 70s, you think about her sexuality. So first and foremost, you're not thinking about her as an actress,
right?
Like as much as you said something like Friday Foster or Once or Twice, there wasn't much really focused on Pam Grier's ability as an actress. I think the two wonderful things about Jackie Brown is that first and foremost, Pam Grier is a great actress in this film. But then the cherry on top is that while this could have been one of these narratives of, now she's an older actress, so they can just concentrate on her acting. She is so fun. Like, she is so fun in this film. And I wonder, because I didn't read Rum Punch, so I don't know how much this like I don't know if this character was an older woman, which again 44 isn't old, but in Hollywood, you know, that's an older woman. I'm wondering how much her sexuality is in her toolbox
in the book.
Because I think the film very intelligently in the script acknowledges just how fun she is. And, you know, from everybody, oh, you know, oh my God, I think you do a little better than okay with the guys. And you know, poor Max Cherry, like you said, Max Cherry, when he sees, they start playing the emotions.
Oh, yeah.
And she emerges from the shadows. Max Cherry is like everybody who sees Pam Grier, and it's like, oh yeah, this is still Pam Grier.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you can say enough about how good this film is.
Where do you stand on, because I know you're a fan of Elmore Leonard.
Yes.
Where do you think this film stands as far as the adaptations of his work? Because there's been quite a few.
I think it's the best. And I love Get Shorty.
Yeah. This is really, really good.
It's funny. I was looking at, because I had it. Let me just pull it up.
Like the list of his.
Right. I was looking at the list of his, because I was kind of thinking that.
Like I gotta think that I'm thinking I'm giving it to Get Shorty, with this being a very, very close second. And the reason being is because I think Get Shorty is a tighter film. This film, I don't think has a lot of fat in it, but you do have to acknowledge that it is, you know, plus 2 hours long, and there is a shorter cut.
I like 52 Pickup. Obviously like Get Shorty, and I like Be Cool, the direct sequel to Get Shorty.
Okay, that makes one of us.
You didn't like Be Cool?
No.
I think The Big Bounce is better than you think it is, although it doesn't feel like Elmore Leonard.
I didn't see The Big Bounce.
It's not bad. It's more funny than not.
I like both the original and the remake to 3:10 to Yuma.
Yeah.
Neither of them. I'm not putting either of them over Get Shorty or Jackie Brown.
Well, you know, it's a Western.
Yeah, but they're good. They're really good and complicated Westerns.
No. I'm not saying it's not good, but when I think Elmore Leonard, I think the crime fiction.
No, I feel you.
So,
I feel you.
You know, it's good, but it's like that's never going to crack any of my Elmore, because I like the Elmore Leonard crime stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember anything about Out of Sight except that I remember liking it.
Wow, I didn't know The Big Bounce was done twice.
I don't think I did either.
It was done in 1969 with Ryan O'Neal.
Interesting.
A very young Ryan O'Neal, I have to imagine.
Interesting.
Yeah, but look, it's a pick-em between Get Shorty and Jackie Brown. You can't go wrong. And especially because the films are totally different in tone.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got one that's, you know, gives you the real hard edge crime in Jackie Brown. And then you've got one that shows you a little bit more of the satire, even though crime is still definitely baked in.
Yeah. Get Shorty's just really smart.
It's just a really smart movie.
Yeah.
And I think Get Shorty, the movie, leans into the satire a lot more. There was actually an adaptation of the movie, but stretched out into a series.
Yeah,
that wasn't bad.
I remember you telling me it wasn't bad.
It actually wasn't
on
bad.
some weird channel though.
Yeah, I think it was on Epix,
like the Hallmark channel or something. Some weird,
like it's one of the channels nobody gets.
Yeah, like you said, there's very much a 2-hour cut of this.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the half hour that would be cut most of it would be the Robert De Niro, Bridget Fonda part. And they're so good.
They are good. You don't need it.
You don't need it.
You don't need it.
In fact, if both of those characters leave, the movie doesn't actually change.
I think it's very smart for Quentin Tarantino just to give flowers where flowers is due to the late Robert Forster. He was a fan of Robert Forster. He wanted him in this role, got him in this role. When he got Robert De Niro wanted to play Max Cherry. And
interesting.
Quentin Tarantino wanted to work with Robert De Niro, but
of course,
but he wrote Max Cherry with Robert Forster in mind. So thus, Robert De Niro was given the role of Lou.
And I think that was brilliant.
I think it was brilliant too, but Robert De Niro did not like that character.
Right. Well,
and reportedly because of that, him and Quentin Tarantino did not get along very well in the movie. And Quentin Tarantino kept telling him, this is you, but your character is a schlub. You mumble, you seem unsure of yourself and everything like that because he had just gotten out of prison.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it all the more real.
Exactly.
When you explode
at
the end.
Well, here's the thing. I think there's this wonderful contrast between Jackie and Bridget Fonda's character, Melanie. Jackie Brown is always hyper aware of how dangerous these people are. Like Ordell is super charming and he's funny and this, that, and that's part of the reason that he tricks Beaumont into getting into the trunk because you drop your guard around him. And the thing that I love about De Niro's character and Robert De Niro playing the character is that he is schlubby. He is this, that, and the other. But the screenplay tells like this is a career criminal. Like he just got out of prison, was there for 4 years for armed robbery. Like he robbed a bank. There's nothing jokey about him. But Melanie is out of her depth. She's kind of dumb. And she's the worst. She's the most dangerous dumb person. She's a dumb person who thinks she's smart.
Yeah.
So that I thought it was perfect that Robert De Niro played this character. Yeah. Also, he's Robert De Niro in 1997. He's too big to be in an ensemble. Like you almost have to put him over in the corner.
You do.
Because it's Robert De Niro. So I'm sorry he wasn't happy with the role, but I thought he was fantastic.
He was fantastic.
I thought he was absolutely
And it's probably
fantastic.
One of those things like you're feeling that in the moment on the set.
Yeah.
And then, a few years later when you catch the movie, because you're probably not, really checking it out. A few years later, you catch the movie. It's like, okay, he was right.
I think, obviously Goodfellas is my favorite older De Niro.
Oh,
but this might, this is easily in my top 3 or 4. Like once De Niro becomes De Niro and he's more himself than like an actor. This is yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Because he's good in Goodfellas, and I guess he is. Older.
Heat.
Yeah, I guess that would be. So you're talking about after the early 90s,
right?
Okay. Cause my favorite, and I just drew a blank on a movie. What's the movie with him and Charles Grodin?
Oh, Midnight Run?
Midnight Run. That's my favorite Robert De Niro.
He's still a little young.
Yeah, but he's just still a little.
Very good.
Love it.
Here you go. Is everyone taking notes? Is everybody listening? I'm just going to go on record. Robert De Niro is a great actor. And I stand by that. Sometimes we record these things and people are going to be listening to this 10 years from now. Well, I am willing to stand on that statement that Robert De Niro is a good actor.
He's a great actor.
So there are lots of roles that you can pull from.
Yes.
And say,
Most definitely. Robert Marun Jr. has a bit of a story for us.
Oh, okay. Story time with Robert.
When my youngest brother was working as a cameraman at a TV station, Pam Grier came through to promote this movie. My brother told her that he's had a crush on her since he was little and had a picture of her in his locker. She didn't believe him, so he took her to his locker. She laughed and gave him a kiss. I think they have a pic of the two of them somewhere.
Well, that is a great story.
That is a great story.
I'm glad the story didn't end with she stole his wallet.
Why would it?
Pam Grier owe my family $17 and a Froyo card that was 2 clicks away from a free cup of yogurt.
No, that would be a certain arrested comedian who owes my late father $10 from their time in Germantown. I have high school.
We are not going to get distracted because I'm about to ask you the question that we have to ask. But can I just say, one of the great joys of moving to Philadelphia is periodically you run into old black men who have Bill Cosby stories. Who the stories are not what you think the story. Well, they're not what you would have thought the stories were. Like, I've been in Philly and I hear these Bill Cosby. I was like, oh my God. So I can add your father's story to that as well.
Yeah.
But the true question is, would you recommend Jackie Brown?
Wholeheartedly. I would recommend Jackie Brown. If you've not seen it for quite some time, what are you waiting for? Go watch Jackie Brown again and again and again and again and again. Great film.
I agree. And I actually really underline what you said about if you haven't seen it in a long time, because I do think Jackie Brown has become this default conversation holder where everyone says, oh, Jackie Brown is Quentin Tarantino's best film. But it's a film that I wonder how much do people return to it.
Yeah.
Like they do Pulp Fiction and Django Unchained and Inglourious Bastards. Like those Quentin Tarantino films that you just kind of throw on. So if you've not seen it in a long time, please revisit it.
And actually, of those films, like of Quentin Tarantino films, I find myself returning to, like, I'm glad we got this out of the way, because I purposefully haven't returned to Jackie Brown since we started the mission.
Sure.
Because no one is going to come up on a mission.
Right.
Right. So outside of that, the Quentin Tarantino films I find myself returning to more often than not are Reservoir Dogs. And it's not his directing, but he wrote True Romance.
Interesting.
So I find myself returning to them. Don't get me wrong. I'll watch Pulp Fiction every once in a while. I love Inglourious Bastards, but honestly, after I watched the opening scene with the milk, like I'm not even in the headspace to watch the rest of that movie because that movie that just trips me out. That scene is so freaking intense.
Yeah, like
I can't take anything else.
Yeah.
And the rest of his filmography, good, but I can, like, I'll see it when I see it.
Yeah. I watch Django at least once or twice a year.
Django's so long. You want to talk about long?
Yeah. But I watch Pulp Fiction from whatever point I catch it. Like I think I actually, like I said, I think Pulp Fiction is way overrated, but I think it's a great film. I think there are big parts of both Kill Bill 1 and 2 that are quite watchable.
Yeah.
That if you catch the right half hour of the Kill Bills, that's not a bad time.
No, yeah, I agree.
But I do think that.
Where do you stand on The Hateful Eight?
You know what? I still have not seen it.
Really?
I still have not seen it.
It's not a bad movie. It's another movie where, you know, it's a Netflix film, so he's left to his, you know, full devices.
Well, again, I think the sweet spot of Jackie Brown is that someone could still tell him, okay, enough.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, he is just like I think we still have not seen all the footage from Kill Bill.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that is one of the films that he has been doing in the wake of the passing back in 2010 of his noted, you know, editor, Sally Menke.
Right. Like, I'm sure it's like 9 hours of footage of Uma Thurman painting her toenails.
Well, yeah.
Which even that, the Quentin Tarantino stuff, like you got the moment with Bridget Fonda's feet, and it's like, oh, it's a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah,
but even that, it wasn't a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
Like you get with him.
Well, because it wasn't Uma.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Even though at the time he did this, he was dating Mia Sorvino.
Look, I just know it's just a lot of feet with him, which is kind of a running joke.
Yeah. There's a lot of feet in House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
All right. Thought you'd like that.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our review of Jackie Brown. Please go check out that movie. Next week here on The Mission is Vincent's turn.
Yes, sir.
It's Vincent's turn to talk about exactly what we are going to be watching. And again, Vincent, I don't know how he does it. He's got another doozy.
Oh, yeah.
He got another doozy.
Oh, yeah. You know, the Blade conversation. The Blade conversation had me hot. Much like the male earlier talked about how it was disrespectful to Wesley Snipes, who I think is an absolute treasure. And the thing about Wesley Snipes is that his body of work bears it out. And as we've talked about when we've talked about some of these films, this is a man who has played iconic roles more than once in his career, whether we're talking about Blade, whether we are talking about Nino Brown in New Jack City, whether we are talking about the fact that he almost stole Mo Better Blues from Denzel Washington as he played Shadow. Next week, we will be talking about yet another iconic Wesley Snipes role in White Men Can't Jump.
From 1992, Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. Ladies and gentlemen, next week here on the Micheaux Mission. 2 Men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. Go to MicheauxMission.com to check out all the cool swag that we have available for your buying pleasure by way of our good friends at TeePublic. Did you know the Micheaux Mission has a voicemail? Yes, we do, Ashy Feet. Hit us up at 215-867-9666 and tell Vincent and Len what is on your mind, or you can shoot us an email at micheauxmission@gmail.com. Follow the Micheaux Mission on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Micheaux. Subscribe to the Micheaux Mission on youtube.com/@Micheaux Mission. Hey, we got our handle today, Vincent. We got our official YouTube handle.
La di da.
And hold the dough.
And
don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and a review as we on Spotify and especially on Apple Podcasts, as we are trying very hard to make our way to 200 reviews on Apple Podcasts. We've only got a little bit more to go, ladies and gentlemen. So please help us out. Get us to 200 reviews by the end of the year. We really, really would appreciate it. And don't forget that the Micheaux Mission are proud members of The Podglomerate, thepodglomerate.com. They make podcast work. All right. Don't forget, always, Sanaa Lathan is the Catwoman you didn't know that you needed. I'm going to put this on here every week. He's Vince, I'm Len, and in parting, we say,
we'll see you when it's time to meet again.